The nations that lived in this world 500,000 years ago used to keep their treasure in their homes. Or at most, they used to bury it under the ground in different places around their homes. And only they knew about those places. Today we will talk about such treasures, which are thousands of years old but people got them by mistake in today's time. So let's know who are those lucky people and how did they get this treasure. Number 1. A film was being shot in the city of Gotland, Sweden. During the shooting, the actor accidentally found a very old treasure. This treasure contained 150 pounds of silver, 50 pounds of brass, and countless pieces of jewelry. Most of the treasures were in the form of coins. This treasure was hidden under a hut floor. When the investigation was done, it was found that this treasure is from the 9th century. That means this treasure is about 1,200 years old. And at that time, it was the time of Vikings. And this was such a big treasure of the time of Vikings that the people of Gotland used to pay a 5-year tax to the Swedish king. From the place where this treasure was recovered, the owner of that land was given to $40,000 as a reward, which is about 18 million rupees. But it is believed that the real value of this treasure is many times more than that. Number 2. This is Nick Mead, who is a tank collector. In America, his company makes people ride different military vehicles and fulfills their desires. For this reason, Nick often buys old tanks and refurbishes them. In 2017, he bought an old tank for $40,000. But what did Nick know that this tank could change his life? Nick started refurbishing it with his mechanic. When it was the turn of the fuel tank, he had to remove the old fuel tank of the tank, repair it, and fit it again. But surprisingly, gold bricks were made from it. 5 gold bricks, and that too pure gold. The price of this gold was $12 million at that time, which is about 90 crore rupees. It is being imagined that this gold bar was found by soldiers in Iraq during the war from a house that was put in the fuel tank to keep it safe. But whoever put it, he too may have been killed. For this reason, this secret remains safe in this fuel tank. Number 3. A hammer of the landowner in East England was lost somewhere in the fields. He told his friend Eric Laws to help him find the hammer from his land. Eric Laws had a metal detector, so he should have gotten the help of that metal detector. He had no idea that today the search for this hammer would change his life. At one place, the metal detector gave a very heavy signal. When the excavation was done there, a treasure-filled box was found from there, which contained 14,780 gold coins, silver coins, and 200 jewelry items. Eric Laws and the landowner gave this news to the government of England. When the archaeologists came, they recovered more 60 pounds of gold coins from there, whose total cost was more than $50 million, which was about 375 crore rupees. But the government of England gave Eric Laws a reward of $2.3 million, which Eric shared with his friend. Number 4. A scuba diver found a gold chain in the Florida Sea, which cost $700. But because of this chain, he started looking for a big treasure. At the bottom of the sea, his metal detector gave a strong signal. When he removed the soil from that place, he was surprised. There were 50 pure gold coins stuck in the soil, whose value was $10 million, i.e. 750 million rupees. These gold coins were at least 200 years old. People believe that many ships have sunk in this sea due to the storm. Perhaps these gold coins were also present in a similar ship that was sunk in the sea by an accident. Number 5. Jamie Oliver is the world's famous chef. He wanted to open a new restaurant in Manchester, for which he bought an old building. When he started doing renovation work in that building, he earned $1.7 million from a wall, i.e. 12.5 million gold, silver and cash. Now, where did this treasure come from? This is also an interesting story. It happened that there used to be a bank in this building, whose name was Midland Bank. There was a secure vault in this bank, where people kept their valuables. But then in 1989, Midland Bank started to go into loss, so HSBC Bank bought Midland Bank. Now all the assets of Midland Bank had been of HSBC Bank, which also included this building. But in 1992, HSBC had to close this branch of its own. So they informed all customers to empty their safe deposit boxes. Almost all people emptied their safes, but a few people could not come. Maybe they had left this world. So the bank decided to break their safe boxes. Many safe boxes were broken and valuable things were taken out of them. But there were also a few boxes that could damage the building by breaking them. The National Heritage Center did not allow them to do this. So HSBC Bank left a few boxes and emptied this building. And 20 years later, during the renovation of Jamie Oliver's restaurant, that treasure was finally recovered. But this treasure was returned to HSBC Bank.